Good evening, folks. I think this is truly a Grand Prix that I can say that I'm glad that I probably will never attend in my life, merely because of the weather conditions. However, I do love this circuit. Welcome on and all. It's APPF1 Tier 1. I'm a little out of breath because I just ran up the stairs. I'm very unfit, clearly. But we are going to go racing here for Tier 1 on Friday. We've got 18 cars on the grid at a circuit that I adore, and a circuit that might prove a challenge for many of the drivers. Right, catching my breath. Let's get everything on here. Get ready to take you out and about. I've got to change one thing very quickly, just for your audio experience. There we go. And let me switch over in my stream so I can see the chat as well. So I can speak to you lovely, lovely people. If you do so choose to get involved in the live chat, that would be very, very great. But let's see who we got out on track then. It's my teammate for career mode, my long-time rival and friend Lawrence, out on the circuit. He had a great result in Tier 2 on Tuesday. He was second place at the end of the race. His first podium in Tier 2 since being on wheel, so that's very exciting. I remember my first podium since getting on wheel. I think it'll be the win for him next. You've got to dream big though for those ones. But anyways, we'll be going on some laps soon. The drivers will be hoping there's no rain, and I think this will probably be described as an endurance race by a lot. I raced in Tier 2, it was quite the event, let me tell you. The tyres are the talk of this week at this Singapore circuit. They just like to wear down. But we're going to ride on board with Lawrence as he prepares to start his final outlap. Commit through this final corner. Maybe could take a bit more curb there, could Lawrence, but through he goes to start the lap. Short, straight, down towards turn number 1, all the way to the right. Then cut as much of the curb as you dare. Then through this not quite turn 2. And then in towards turn 3, which is set up by the previous corner. Then moving on to what I think is turn 4 through here. There's a few questionable corners as we go along, but turn 4, and then this is turn 5 through here down the Raffles Boulevard now. The best overtaking opportunity on the circuit into 6. Late braking through there. Lawrence could maybe be a little bit more on the curb through the exit of that corner, but takes the next corner, turn 7, quite well. Gets the apex, then through here as well. Commit through there, allow the car to carry the speed through that next corner, and then into what would be the old Singapore sling section here. Tricky little complex of corners if you don't quite get it right, and then down over the Anderson Bridge in towards the final hairpin. Another tricky corner, but Lawrence gets it done well, gets the exit, puts the power down, opens up the DRS, allows the battery to take him down to the next corner, and it hits the apex perfectly here as well. Avoid that dusty part of the track as much as you can onto this next part of the straight. I do miss the technical section here of this circuit, but straight with the DRS zone we've got into this next and final chicane of the corner to finish off a lap in towards the final corner now. Is Lawrence going to commit this time over the curve? Yes, he is. And then round to set what will be a 1 minute 30.0. A solid lap to beat. Is that poorly? It is poorly. A 29.6. So Lawrence's time already beaten. I think RJ's next across the line. It's going to be a 1 minute 30.5 for him. This is Aston Martin. That's going to be Palang next. 28.7. Smashes Paulie's time out of the water there. And then Temp setting a similar time to Paulie. Orange, is that Joe starting a lap? No, it's Joe finishing a lap. Let's see, here comes Kylo Ren, championship favourite here. I'm noticing there's no Finley this week, I believe. That's good for my predictions, as Kylo Ren now goes on to pole position by a 1/10 of a second as the times keep coming in. Let's see, Dakar crosses the line. Nice to see Dakar out on track. He's not always able to make the races, but it's always nice to see him out on the circuit. There's Ghost about to start a lap here as well. Let's find somebody else on a lap. How about Glock here? Last week's race winner in Belgium, I believe. I can take a look. I can fact check myself right now. He was indeed last week's race winner, yes. fact-checking myself so I don't look like an idiot live on air in front of all you lovely, lovely people. But we'll take a brief overlook on the standings, and let me find somebody on a lap. Exterek back again and setting some more competitive times this time. Had some issues in Belgium last time out. Let's ride along with LB. Maybe no, he's not on a lap. I know Ghost is on a lap. Let's follow along with the McLaren as he goes along. His teammate not here this week, so Ghost's got a lot of work to do to try and score some good points for the constructors. But Palang then, he is the championship leader. He is 5 points ahead of Glock, who is going to be trying to challenge him, I'm sure. Kylo Ren there as well. He missed the last race in Belgium, but he's back out on circuit. He's only 8 points behind, so a win could see him close that distance to Palang for sure. And then MX isn't too far behind, 12 points. Ghost 15, 16 points for Josh there as well. Then there's Van der Snatch, Chris and Koru rounding off the top 10 as Ghost sets a 1 minute 28.9 solid lap from the British driver as we ride on board with Van der Snatch, who set a purple first sector. And then we've got Jackalacco, Elite Dave, Rick, Joe, Scott, RJ, myself, Ricky, Enchilada, Banter Brandon, LB, Lawrence, Charlie, Finley, Popito, Roberts, Exterek, Finn, Zwick, Rubiowski and Jonas Daly, the 31 drivers who have some form of participation in Tier 1, whether that be racing on the circuit or merely signing up. And then, as far as the constructors goes, it's Ferrari leading the way. They're 16 points ahead of McLaren thus far, with Kick Sauber just a point behind the McLarens, 59 to 58 respectively. And then there's Aston Martin in P4, Williams P5, then there's Mercedes, Haas, RB, Red Bull and Alpine. There is 47 points covering all of the teams, although I think the teams to watch are going to be the Ferraris, McLarens, Saubers, Astons, and maybe those Mercedes if Finley can attend some more races, as we now have 19 cars on the grid, ladies and gentlemen, as Elite Dave has just arrived. But the times coming in, a lot of drivers still yet to go out on circuit and set any lap times. I think Dakar invalidated his previous attempt. Lewis, I think, is new to Tier 1, so we'll be watching his career with great interest. That's a very nice helmet, by the way, Lewis. I don't know if you're watching, but I really like that helmet. It's very Charles Leclerc, but blue. And I like Charles Leclerc's helmet. 9 out of 10 there for you, Lewis. I like that. I'm a big fan of a simple design on a helmet. I think it can go very, very long way. But, yes. Oh, that's a very nice rig there, Elite Dave. Hello, Jack. It's nice to see you. You've been absent for a few weeks. How was Belgium? Other than wet? Oh dear, Van der Snatch here. He went with a 129.8. So we're looking for, I think we're looking at maybe a 28.3 for pole position, if I'm being generous here. I think these guys have got it in them. Kylo Ren and Palang, this could be a hard-fought battle. Between the two of them for pole position, but Glock or Ghost could sneak in there as well. The only drivers in the 28 so far, but I think I found on this game the tracks just ramp up so much, especially at circuits like Singapore. There's a lot of time to be found in a fair few of the corners, and you've just got to extract it from the car. As Paulie Orange is now, he's a 10th up already on this lap. I think that was his teammate just getting out of his way. Maybe a little bit of slipstream from Glock there as well. I don't know if they're in comms together, but it's always nice to have a bit of help from your teammate. As the Haas gets nicely out of the way. I think that's... It could be Enchilada or RJ. I wasn't quite sure. I haven't memorised everybody's numbers yet. But in through the hairpin goes Paulie Orange up toward the Sector 2 line now. Or the Sector 3 line, I should say. As he goes through, he's 2/10 up on this effort. This could put him in amongst the top 6. Any more improvement might see him in the top 5, but he'll have to find a lot more time if he wants to challenge in towards the 1 minute 28. Pink Web as well, I think that's a new name. We'll keep an eye on that Red Bull there, because they're not far off. As Paulie Orange round the final corner for this run, and it's a 1 minute 29.2 So a couple of tenths off of the Red Bull there. But not a bad effort, if I do say so myself. Let's see, I think that's Lewis coming around. No, that's going to be Dakar. Who's the next car? There's an Aston Martin making his way around. I think it's Palang, so let's watch along with Palang. He is 5 tenths up. We might be way overestimating the lap time here. As I said, 1 minute 28.1. So we are looking at a much faster pole time. I'm probably thinking more of a 27.6. Maybe a 27.7. Something crazy like that. I'm thinking too small. Kylo Ren, though, he's not going to be able to do it. Only 2 tenths improved. Only a 28.5 for the Mercedes driver. So Palang really putting in some work tonight on this Singapore circuit. Finding a lot of time. Koru 4 tenths down. He hasn't found anything on this particular run. I think we're going to have True Loki next. But he's invalidated his lap, so that's not going to count. Towards this qualifying session. Enchilada Dad just under half a tenth up on his previous best. Let's see if he can find any more time. He didn't have the best of times in Singapore. He was mostly stuck behind me on Tuesday as I was fighting tooth and nail for every position. But P6 in Tier 1 here is not anything to scoff at all. His Glock on a lap he was, but he's invalidated. Lewis there. I think that's Dakar coming through now. Let's see what he can do, the Scotsman, making his way around the final corner. And it's P6 for Dakar. That's a solid lap time. As Kylo Ren is out, he's crashed at the Anderson Bridge. Oh dear. And that was one of the favourites for pole position, and he's out of this session. That is a huge shock in this early stage of the race. And, well, it's P2 at best for Kylo Ren so far. And that's a costly mistake, potentially. Track position is such a rare commodity, but such a valued commodity here at this circuit. I think he'll be kicking himself. Just such an easy mistake as well. Everyone's done it. Meanwhile, Pink Web in the Red Bull. This could be a fantastic lap time, and it is. It's P3, 1 minute 28.6. Surely some more improvement in the tank for him, but currently nobody able to really mount too much of a challenge to Palang's 1 minute 28.1. Where has this pace come from? What does he put in his Weetabix each morning? These are very key questions. Well, maybe we'll ask him in the interviews. What's the secret, Palang? What do you put in your Weetabix? Spa last week to Croft this week for the British Touring Cars. We'll be back soon. Good. British Touring Cars sounds fun. I don't know, I don't attend a lot of motorsport events, to be honest. I much prefer driving to watching, to be fair. Banter Brandon, meanwhile, out on the circuit, but not on a competitive lap. He's backed off, which makes me think he's about to go again. No. Into the pits he goes. And now we've got a bit of a lull in qualifying. Everybody just making their way around. Extrac out on the circuit, car number 41. I think this will be his first proper foray into Tier 1 here tonight. He did compete last week, of course, but he had some issues with the with the game settings, not letting him change out of beginner, which is strange. But I think just struggled during the race and didn't make it all the way to the end, but he will certainly give it a decent go. He's in the top 10 so far, 29.5. He's about second off of Kylo Ren up ahead. But I think Extra can pull out a solid lap time here. I think he'll get himself maybe just off the back of that top 5 there. Maybe a 29.1, 29.0 perhaps for Extra. We've had our fair share of scuffles on the circuit, Extrac and I, but it's nice to watch him race instead. I think there's a lot less pressure when you're watching Extrac on the track rather than watching him in your mirrors, let's say. But anyway, making his way around. Everybody's starting to peel out on track. So we'll try and do our best to keep an eye on the action. Let me see who I've got to cut to after this. It'll be Koru. Who is he on a lap? Oh, he's on a lap. I think he's on a lap. No, he's harvesting. I can't tell what he's up to. I don't think he is on a lap. No, he's not harvesting. Maybe he is on a lap. Let's see. We'll find out now. He is on a lap. He's 6/10 up on his previous. This could be good. This could put him in the P6 here so far. Maybe even a break into the top 5. He's fastest in the middle sector. We'll cut back to Extrek in a little bit because Koru is out on the track and he's lighting up the timing screens. But it's going to be a lot of time to find as close to the wall as he dares through this final corner. Let's see what lap time he's got in him. It's a lot. It's 6th place at 28.9, just shy of the top 5. I think if he'll be thinking if only that little bit more was in the tank, and Ghost has snuck his way into P2 there as well. That's the closest time to Palangs we've had so far. Let's see what Extrek can do. Coming through the old Singapore sling down toward the Anderson Bridge now. Don't crash like Glock did. It's so easy to do at this corner. You lock up and suddenly you're in the wall. It's very, very easy to do. And let's see what Extrek can do. That's fastest in the middle sector. He's 2/10 up on his previous effort. That would put him somewhere within the top 8. Let's see if he's got any more time as he makes his way through the final sector. Down into this final chicane now. Can be tricky if you're not committed to the corners. As close to the wall as he dares. Through the final corner now. Car number 41. Let's see what he's got in him. It's a 1 minute 29.1, so 7th place for now for Extrek. We've got an Alpine, maybe? I'm trying to figure out who's next to set a lap time. I want to say it's one of the Haas cars. No. Maybe it's Dakar. No. I want to say it's a Red Bull. Who is it? It's not Temp. Not Koru. Is it Palang? Palang is out on circuit right now, but he's way back there. I think we've got a Williams about to cross the line. Yes, Vandersnatch, 4/10 up on his previous effort. A lot further down than I expected him, to be honest, Vandersnatch. Perhaps not a fan of this circuit. True Loki making his way through now. Through the final corner he comes in the V-carb. Let's see what it is. It's only good enough for P17. And the checkered flag is being waved. And let's see, Joe B making his way through. He's down. He's not going to improve. What about Banter Brandon? He's still yet to set a lap time. This could be his one and only chance to get a solid run in. Don't mess it up through these next few corners. Don't invalidate in the last corner. It's so easy to do if you overcommit to the curb. But this time Banter Brandon comes through, but it's only 13th. Lawrence 2/10 up. Can he break into that top 10? He can. It's 10th, but will he stay there? Enchilada, invalid. How about Lewis? Making his way through. He's a 10th down on his previous. What about Ghost? Can he snatch pole position away from Palang in the final moments? He can! It's a 28.139. Palang is still out on the circuit though, but he's invalidated. It's Ghost currently on pole position. Is LB going to do anything? He goes up to P16. What about Elite Dave in the Red Bull? No. Pink Web in the other Red Bull goes 3rd place. Extrek, that's him making his way around the final corner, but I think that's it. That is it. And when it looked like nobody was going to challenge Palang for pole position, Ghost finds the time, improves the lap, and gets himself onto the front row, onto the top step, the place you want to be. Pole position for Ghost. And you know what? I think he'll be very happy with that, in all honesty. I think he was a bit glum about his chances this season. But I think he'll definitely be very chuffed with that one. Well done, Ghost. Lovely helmet, by the way. 10 out of 10. Well then, after a very exciting qualifying session, it's Ghost on pole position. Palang joins him on the front row with Pink Web Daker on second. Then it's Kylo Ren, Glock, Koru, Extrek, Enshada and Lawrence the top 10. With Paulie Orange, Vandersnatch, Lewis, Banter Brandon, RJ, LB, Joe, True Loki and Elite Dave rounding off the 19 car grid for this evening's race. I completely forgot how to speak just then. I won't lie to you. Let's move over now to the paddock. Let's see. Yeah, what a lap from Ghost, definitely. Crazy stuff. Absolutely wild. Everybody's a Ghost fan. Except when he's stopping you from pitting. Well then, there'll be interest to see what the Tier 1 drivers think of the strategy. It's the million-dollar question here this year, so far, especially in these early days of the game's life cycle as well. It's just figuring out what's going to work, what's the best option. But we'll see. We're but moments away now from 5 red lights. We're just waiting to see, waiting to get transported to the grid for this Grand Prix. Fantastic stuff. If you haven't been listening to the APPF1 podcast, go over there. But anyways, it's 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights for the Singapore Grand Prix here in Tier 1. And we are underway and racing. And it looks like a very solid start from Palang. But Ghost gets a better second face. But Palang dives up the inside. And it's almost 3 wide through the first corner. But then he's in towards... Oh, and that's Pink Web going straight into the back of the McLaren. But Palang zooms off into the lead of this race. Glock up into third place there as well as Daker move around the outside of the Red Bull. Is Carnage. X-Track is moving along. All of these midfield cars jostling for places back here. Please keep it clean, Tier 1 in towards this next corner. It's absolute chaos through here, but they're 2 by 2 by 2 as they go through, and there's a Williams round in the background. There's big damage for somebody else as well. Oh, and that's an Aston Martin in the wall there as they go side by side, and Glock now challenging Ghost in towards the old Singapore thing. Surely not, and there's Will bagging between the two and just gets through, but Ghost goes right back under him. It's a Danny Rick move, and Ghost gets the position back. What a fantastic move from Ghost. Absolutely brilliant. I think Glock's got nothing to do but put his hands up for that one. I think if it were me, I'd be sitting in that cockpit saying, fair enough, mate. As Banter Brandon looks like he's got the best of this first lap, and all the carnage. It was utter filth. Utter filth. But you know what? I respect it. It's very Danny Rick-esque, and I love it. If you know, you know. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. But damage on that Red Bull then. Trying to see who else has got damage. There was some other guys toward the back. Joe will be thankful he's got away. And I think it was Elite Dave with the damage to his front wing. Yeah, ring change for the Dutch driver. Big shame for him, but Palang, perfect getaway, jumped Ghost and said goodbye. But we'll see everybody off to a solid start. Will it be the 1 or the 2 stop tonight? The 2 stop did well in Tier 2 for some people, but it was, I think, the 1 stop that was definitely the strategy to be on if you were of lead pace. So we will see. But of course, it's hard to overtake here in Singapore. And there's damage on that Ferrari. There is. He's missing his front right end plate. That won't be helping him. And Ghost is dropping him. He's just teetering on the edge of that DRS range, but the understeer won't be useful to Glock. But he's just about within the DRS range, though. He's making it work for the time being. And Ghost catching back up, though. Palang has not quite got the pace in the race so far to fend off Ghost, and the fastest laps are coming in, and wow, Ghost is really flying out there. He is loving Singapore at the moment. So Loki and Vandersnatch have swapped places. Meanwhile, Vandersnatch having an abysmal race so far. He'll be hoping to turn around his fortunes, but Ghost now in the hunt. He's within that 1 second range, and he'll be closing in on Palang and trying to shape for a move, perhaps, as Dake gets past Glock, and I think that wing damage is going to come back to bite him, I think. But Glock managing it for the time being, but he's lost another place. And yeah, as I said, wing damage on the Red Bull there as well. They could be a bit more detrimental to the cars behind. A cork in the bottle situation. If Dake is able to just go, then Glock's just going to keep shipping places. But he doesn't seem to be too bothered by it. You can see on the body language, Banter Brandon's out. Where has he crashed? I think in the Anderson Bridge here. Yeah. And it's a safety car. No, it's a virtual. My. And yeah, there's that stricken Sauber. It's so weird. We had the same crash with Aces in Tier 2. Yeah, there wasn't even a virtual. There was a yellow flag for about 2 seconds, and then we were back to normal. In real life, that's a red flag every day of the week. Any crash in that little section. I mean, any crashes in most places. But what's going on? Oh, Glock has pitted, taking the smart option. He'll be definitely going for the 2-stop now. He'll have no choice, but this pit stop will at least keep him within range of the rest of the field. Although it's slow. Why is he still in the pit box? Has he left? Okay, now he leaves. That was... okay. The game is so weird sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Yeah, see, I don't know about the strategy. Because the one-stop works. The one-stop is genuinely the fastest strategy. That's why I say it's an endurance race. You've got to know how to manage the tyres and just keep going on them. But the 2-stop can work as well. It's very situational, I think. I'm still under virtual. We're back now green, though. Just as I say that, I clearly have the power to command the safety car. I think my phone has just killed itself. Okay. That's not good. I'll put that on charge. When I wasn't looking, my phone has turned itself off. Fantastic. I'm getting the battery replaced soon, so no panics. But yes, we're racing. That's what we're doing. And Ghost all over the back of Palang now, putting the pressure on. And really taking this pace advantage to Palang. Meanwhile, Dake, all aboard the Dake train. As Extrac and LB get familiar with each other. And LB all over the back of this Williams. He's going to pull to the outside and get straight past with the DRS. Not much Extrac can do about that one. I think he pitted under the safety car, did Extrac. So he's on those fresh hard tyres. I don't know if he had damage. LB gets a penalty. The two of them fighting again. LB really defending this position all the way to the inside. Interesting battle there. Not many overtakes happening as we go on. For the time being, but it's just about being patient around it, waiting for your moment. Could this be Kylo Ren's as a mistake potentially for Ghost? Drops back a little bit, but gets straight back into that DRS. Kylo Ren will be looking for any advantage he can get to get himself in the fight for this race win. He can see the cars ahead, but it's just frustrating when you're behind another, but not for long as he's down the inside. fairly simple move, and is the Red Bull trying to get involved as well. I think he had a little look at Dakar, tried to follow the Mercedes through, but to no avail. Paulie Orange, he finds himself as the lead Ferrari for the time being. Making his way through as well. There's Glock. In a bit of no man's land right now, but he'll just be trying to get his head down and put those hard tyres to use as Extrac and LB still getting racy with each other back here. Ghost just being patient. He's very good at that. And I mean, that's what you need. How about RJ and Lawrence? RJ looking to go around the outside. Side by side they go, but RJ backs out of that move and lives to fight another day. That's the pair of them. Continue their race over P10. True Loki, 3-second time penalty for him. Everybody coming through this old Singapore thing. It's interesting to see the lines everybody takes through there. How much curb, how committed drivers are through that corner, because you can really cut the curb. And that's what these helicopter shots are very, very useful for. Goes still all over the back of Palang. I guess a decent looking exit. Could this be the chance? I don't think he'll attack here. No, but he draws ever closer. And he's just trying to get the shape of Palang, and Ghost gets a little bit of a poor exit out of that penultimate corner. A little bit shaky, a little bit tentative through the final corner there as well. But still staying on the back of Palang, our current race leader, championship leader as well. Ghost a little squirrely on the exit there as well. Lots of battling going on, lots of trains to keep an eye on. There's LB and Extrac again. Is it going to be another showdown for these two in towards turn number 1? Let's see. Extrac goes for the move this time. LB can do nothing but stay in his line. Oh, there's a true Loki god getting all sorts of out of shape in the background. I think he's got wing damage now. He does. That'll put a dampener on his evening. As Extrac is now ahead of LB. LB, will he go for the move on Extrac? Let's see. This is the most interesting battle going on track. All the leaders aren't really doing much. As side by side they go, and they're still side by side into the next corner, and Extrac almost peels off into the wall, and LB gets the place back. And a little bit of argy-bargy between those two, but I think that's just hard racing on a difficult circuit. So Extrac just filters in again. We know Extrac's driving style, of course. He's aggressive. He likes to surprise his foes. He likes to play with them like a cat. This is a yellow flag. Has True Loki got damage or something? Did he slow down for Elite Dave, perhaps? I think that seems more likely. Either way, lap number 8 in this long race. Yeah, you definitely can. I was lucky enough to be the head of a train on Tuesdays, so... But here comes Ghost, sorry to cut you off on my point there, but Ghost finally launches the attack. He goes around the outside of Palang and finally gets it done. It was a fairly simple overtake in terms of the DRS, but he launched it perfectly, caught Palang, I think, a little bit by surprise. Palang defended to the inside, and Ghost just took the race in line and carried on. Fantastic stuff. Vandersnatch and Lawrence, meanwhile, are going motor racing. Vandersnatch is up ahead. Has Lawrence got damage? I can't tell from that angle. No, he doesn't, but he's with Joe B now. Those two will have a nice little race. He probably will. But I think Ghost looks to have had the pace all along, but we'll find out now that he's in the lead. Of course, he won't have the DRS anymore to help him down the straights. Palang will now have that advantage. But we'll see. Nobody's yet to pull the trigger. I don't think any of these drivers are going to go for a 2-stop. Unless they're feeling really sort of brave. As you can see, Dakar has lost the place to Kylo. Kylo's closed into just over a second. 1.3 to be precise. And Kylo wanting to close in, especially if Ghost doesn't quite have the pace to pull away from Palang. Just need to grab my charger because my controller's about to die. Everything's dying in the sumo house today. I do apologise. There's Paulie Orange and Enchilada. They go racing with one another. But not a lot happening right now. It's quite a calm race. Everybody's just circulating. Just happy to keep going. I think once the pit stops come in, that's when it starts to get a little bit more racy out here in Singapore. That's when the gaps start to... the cars kind of, they go into their own little battles across the track, let's say. But all these guys very closely matched. Enchilada's having a great race so far, it must be said, in P7. The last car in the train. But definitely keeping with the lead fight, and Kylo has now closed into DRS range. And Ghost, who won't be sitting easy in that McLaren. He'll be keeping an eye on his mirrors. Palang will look to launch an attack on him at the earliest convenience. When will it be? Let's ride on board with our championship leader. Ghost maybe a little bit wide through that corner. And Palang gains on him a little bit, but I don't think he's going to be close enough. You've really got to be within 3-4 tenths on the exit of the corner to even think about a move down the Raffles Boulevard. As Lawrence and Joe B swap places. Joe B, I should say, having a much better race than he did on Tuesday. Avoided damage turn 1. That's the first step. Now it's making it to the end. Some would say the hardest part. Actually, I think the hardest part's probably avoiding damage on turn 1. It could be carnage sometimes. Especially at Monza. It's always Monza, isn't it? It's always somebody. It's always somebody who thinks they're prime Ayrton Senna. Anyway, there's a front train that have kind of just peeled off of everybody else, and I think it's partially due to this Red Bull with front wing damage. He's holding everybody else up behind him, I think, and now has created that gap. And I was talking about that earlier. Lawrence once again ahead of JB. They're just having some fun back there, I think, between the two of them. Wouldn't be fun if they hit each other. As Koru first to pull the trigger then on what would be lap 11, lap 10 into lap 11. Onto the hard tyres. 20 laps is a bit of an ask, it's possible. Or 21 laps even is a bit of an ask on those hards, it's possible. But I think it could be the 2-stop as Paulie Orange is looking to get rid of this Red Bull. He can see the cars ahead slipping away. He doesn't want that to happen. And he gets through with the inside on the next corner. And that's job done for the Ferrari, is it? Will the Red Bull come back at him? No, I think the Red Bull will cede that one. And do the sensible thing. Paulie is now unleashed to try and get his way up towards that top 4. And Dakar has just attached himself to the back of that Mercedes. And it's a 4-way fight so far for the lead between 4 different teams. It's very exciting as Lawrence forgets where the track limits are and gets himself a time penalty. That was very silly. Enchilada now. I think he'll be the next to try and dispatch of this ailing Red Bull. Will anybody choose to dispatch of their tyres? They must start to be getting into that window now where they're just not as good. As Glock passes Joe B now, it'll be Lawrence next. Let's take a look at the gap to leader. Let's see what he's been doing. So right now, I think if the leaders come in, Glock, I think he's currently the net race lead, but he will have to pit again. So, but so far so good for Glock. This could be a solid recovery, I think, after the damage. But Joe B's in, Extra X making his way around as well. Got rid of LB somehow. So LB gets past Joe, who's coming out of the pits. Meanwhile, the leaders circulating down towards the Anderson Bridge they come. So just making their way around. Ghost will be aware of the cars he's got behind him. He's doing a solid job of just maintaining that gap, though. No one's been able to launch an attack yet. There's a Haas round. That's RJ. And he's got back going again, so no harm done, but damage to that front wing. Not a good day for the American driver. Let's see, what are the leaders doing? Anybody going to peel into the pit lane? Yes, Ghost does. Palang follows him in. Kylo stays out. Dakar comes in as well. Paulie Orange stays out too. Alright, and it's going to be hard, I think, to the end for all of these drivers coming in now. They'll 100% make it. There's Glock. It's a very slow pit lane. I think he'll jump all of them here. But I think he'll have to pit again. Getting to the end on those hard tyres is going to be risky. They will be firmly in puncture territory. And there he is. He's 8 seconds back from the next driver. He will be... It's like 6.2 ahead of Ghost. But I don't think that will last long thus far. But drivers into the pits then. And it's battle resume, but Ghost has gained 1.8 seconds on Palang. What happened to Palang in the pits? He must have got held up by somebody in the pit lane. And Ghost will be happy to see that. And he's in relatively clear air, actually. This is perfect. Ghost has come out of the pits. He's got a gap on his rivals behind, although that could easily change. And he's got clear air ahead of him. It's perfect. It's just what you want. But let's see. Will the undercut work for anybody? Is Kylo coming in? Yes, he is. In comes the Mercedes. Let's see if he can maybe jump Palang. That would be his target, I think. Getting out ahead of Palang. Into the pits he comes. Lewis is in the pits as well. Paulie Orange has stayed out. There's Glock, so it's going to be a Ferrari 1-2. So far, both Ferraris need to pit again. Lewis is in the pits, but let's see, Kylo Ren is at the pit exit now. And there's Palang, so he hasn't jumped him. And he hasn't jumped Dakar. In fact, Dakar has jumped him with the undercut. And so Kylo Ren a bit back to square one now with his strategy. But at the very least, he can work away at that gap and join back onto the back of this. But Ghost still maintaining that gap. He is the net race leader right now. I seriously doubt the ability of Glock to get those hard tyres to the end. I mean, if he does it, fair enough, but I don't think he won't be overtaken. I think that time's already come down, in fact. Ghost has got the tyre advantage and is slowly chipping away at that lap time. And I can tell you from experience, the hards, as they get sort of towards 20 laps, are no fun at all. And it already is closed in half a second. So, net race lead here, Ghost. He's opened up that gap, in fact. It's now 2.4 seconds. Ghost is flying out there, untouchable so far. Just don't put it in the wall, please. Or do, because I think I'm owed some revenge, to be honest. The amount of times Ghost has commented on how well I'm doing in a race, all for me to crash immediately after. you know, I think I'm deserved some of that commentator's curse, but the other way around. Or as some people like to call it, commentators coincidence. It's a little bit dicey between Koru and Paulie Orange on the exit, but they keep it clean. They stay away from each other, give each other the room, and Paulie Orange just has to settle behind the Aston Martin on that occasion. But will it be for long? Here he comes around the outside with the DRS, becomes the inside as they go into the corner, and it's the Ferrari ahead of the Aston Martin. Will Koru come back at him in the next corner though? You can do it if you're brave, but no, tucks in behind, but does try to come back at him on the exit. Just enough room left between the two of them, as Lawrence and JB, they're going racing as well, with what looks to be LB. So these three having a bit of a scrap in the background. Although I think LB, he'll definitely be stopping again. Meanwhile, Glock has now been caught by Ghost, and that's Lawrence. He's round. He's in the wall, and the podium finisher in last week's on Tuesday's race has gone into the wall somewhere. Whoa. I think he must. He's done a George Russell, has he? Not quite a George Russell, but he's hit the wall somewhere. I don't know what happened there. He'll have to tell us, but that's a proper safety car, and you stay out on your hards, didn't you? You don't bother. I wouldn't bother. But this is perfect for Glock. Where's he going to come out? Behind his teammate? Behind Lewis, in fact. So, 9th. You know what? That's ideal for Glock. Not perfect, but ideal. He's lost a lot less time than he would have. Interesting. Mediums for X-Track. 15 laps is going to be a bit dicey, I will say. But maybe some of these runners, no choice really, but I think others have got the experience and the know-how of previous races to know to take a second set of hards. So lots of options, but Vandersnatch and X-Track opted for the medium. I don't know if that will be the wise choice. But here, why come in? But I think Ghost will be annoyed. He's worked very hard. He's worked hard to get that gap, but maybe he knows that he can earn it back. But it'll be a little bit harder this time, as he didn't have it. He had it. He was inherited the gap during the pit stops, and then opened it up a bit more. So he's going to have to try and shake Palang once the safety car comes in. But we're waiting. And I think we could do a helmet review. I think it's time. We've not had one yet, I don't think. We've already rated Ghosts as a 10. I like that. Let's move on to Palang. It's green. That's a start. Let's get a better look at it, please. Please. I don't know, it's green with more green. It's alright, I guess. I don't know, I can't really get a good look at it. I don't know, like a 6? Dake? Let's see. Trying to get a good view. Oh, there we go. Oh, I don't mind that. I just don't like the metallic red, I think. 7 out of 10. Kylo Ren. Looks boring. 0. 0. Pink web. I want to get a good look at that one. I want to see it. I want to see it. Oh. I think that's a Lewis Hamilton helmet. While Lewis Hamilton's helmets are cool, 0. No effort. Oh! Hello, Paulie Orange. Oh, I want a better look at that. That looks lovely. The orange and the black and the red. Oh, 10-second time penalty for X-Track, not ignoring yellow flags. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, I like that, Paulie. That's it's 10 out of 10. Love it. We already spoke about Lewis's. 9. Glock. Oh, that's just beneath Paulie's, I think. 9 out of 10. 0. 0. RJ. Oh, I quite like that RJ. Very Lando Norris-esque. Oh, but there's a bit of colour on it as well. 7 out of 10. Oh, Joey B. Got a nice blue helmet there. Oh, that's nice, Joe. That's a nice one. I like the white little outlines there. That's a solid helmet. 9 out of 10. LB. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of the colour combination, I think. In all honesty. I can't really see it so far. I know it's sort of neon green, pink, and in that metallic red. I'm just not sure I'm a fan. No. I like a vibrant helmet though, so 5. 5 out of 10. At least you tried. I think that's a default, so 0 and 0. There you go. Helmet review of the Tier 1 grid for the Singapore Grand Prix, round number 4, Tier 1. And of course, if you remember way back, this will be the last round for me. I think I might be back for round 9 and 10. I'll have to double check with Ghost, but it will be Lewis L Day. Or I think I got his name right. He will be commentating the next 4 rounds of Tier 1. I know I will be tuning in when I get the chance, whether after the fact or during. But do go check it out when he does stream that next Friday, as we should be showing all of our commentators some support. I hope people have been checking out Nobody's streams, of course, on Sunday. I'm sure he's been doing well. I haven't had the chance to tune in yet. I'm very busy on a Sunday, but I'll perhaps go and watch last Sunday's race back. But finally the safety car comes in and I can stop rambling on about all sorts. But let's see then. Ghost, he's going to control the pace. I'll be waiting for that safety car to peel in. When does he bolt it? Let's ride on board with Palang. This will be the best viewpoint to see. Warming up those hard tyres. The safety car's coming round to the pit lane and it's entering it now. When is Ghost gonna drop it? There he goes, he's gone, and Palang has stayed with him for the time being. But I think that's the perfect place to go. And Ghost restarts this race, and it's Kylo Ren on the attack already of Dakar. Looks to the inside, doesn't make the move though, although somebody else is thinking about it in the background. That's LB. He's trying to attack Joe B into turn 1, doesn't quite get past the Sauber so far, and he's got to think about Vandersnatch now behind him. Elite Dave has got damage again. A horrible race for Elite Dave so far, but we're back under green flags, and it's Ghost opening up the gap once more as LB has got past Joe this time, has he? Yes, he has, without the DRS, but on the Raffles Boulevard he gets up into P13. The first second proper safety car. There was no safety car in Tier 2, which was a shock. Oh, that's not what we want. We want penalties. Here we are. 3 for RJ and Pink, 9 for LB, 3 for Elite Dave, and 10 for Extract, but I'm not sure if that will be removed. I'm not sure under what circumstances that penalty was given. But it was for ignoring yellow flags, so... as I dropped my mic on my keyboard. Apologies. I mean, there's worse things it could have fallen on, to be fair. It could have gone in my water or something. Anyways. Back under racing conditions, and everybody just within a few tenths of each other. I'm sure that will open up, but It's just going to be one long DRS train, isn't it? All the way down. This hasn't been the most thrilling Singapore Grand Prix so far. We'll hope that there's something. Hopefully something happens. Somebody does something. Please. Oh, this Koru looking for moves here. LB gets his way past Vandersnatch. Joe B wants a piece of the pie as well as Vandersnatch. Almost into the back of the Mercedes of LB. Meanwhile, Ghost doing everything he can to try and open this gap up. Ignore that yellow flag in the top left. I don't know what that's about. Game just being buggy again. But Enchilada now, is he losing touch with the top four? Is that going to open him up to the drivers behind to come under some pressure now? Pink Webb has got the DRS, doesn't launch an attack yet. But Enchilada losing touch now on these hard tyres with the top four. And we have a cork in the bottle situation. Rick saying he hopes Ghost wins this one. I hope so too, Rick. To take off my commentary hat for just a moment, I think that'll be a good confidence boost for him going into the rest of the season. But there's still a long way to go. We're 11 laps left of this Singapore Grand Prix. Still a long way to go, but Enchilada Dad is going to come under all sorts of pressure now. Pink Webb gets past. And let's see what else. Paulie Orange will be the next driver to get past, but Ench will at least get some DRS now from the Red Bull. Yeah, especially with no line. It's hard enough with the line, to be honest, so I don't know how you do it with no line. I certainly can't. I'm no good without the line. I've tried a few times. I just don't think I've got the attention span. But we'll see. I've never tried it before, so we'll see. Anyways, Pink Webb, he's got his way past. They want to try and put any pace he's got to good use. Glock and Lewis side by side, as luckily not to go in the wall, but Lewis loses the rear and that invites Glock through. And now Glock's going to be overtaken by the opportunist, Exterek, making his way down in towards the next corner, side by side. Ooh, and they brush wheels, making their way through. Lewis keeps Exterek at bay for now. Remember, Exterek's got that 10-second time penalty, and I think those mediums will struggle sooner rather than later. Making their way around, but he'll be trying to put them to good use at the very least. Here's the tenacious one, is Exterek. Yeah, I suppose. Well, I mean, I've done karting before. I mean, I know it's not, you know, the same sort of speed and intensity, but you kind of, you know when to brake at the earliest opportunity, and it takes a little while for you to learn, you know, the limits. So you can brake later and later and later until eventually you get to a point where you brake too late and then you're going into the wall. So, you know, it's just comes down to muscle memory and learning the tracks and, you know, the odd specific what do you call it? Reference points. Yeah. Exactly. Karting's a lot of fun, actually. Although the no power steering really does get to you after a while. As Extra gets past Lewis, but I'm more focused on this battle as Palang is now launching an attack on Ghost, going around the outside, but Ghost fends him off, but goes way too deep into the corner, and Palang invites himself through, and that's going to be a move. Dake's under pressure from Kylo Ren in the background. Side by side they go, and they're still side by side. Dake holds on around the outside, but they're still going side by side into the next corner, into turn one. Dake backs out. Kylo Ren makes his way through, and that was some thrilling stuff. Through the final corner, Kylo Ren smells the opportunity for a win here as Vandersnatch passes RJ Blair as well. There's a bit of a train forming behind Glock here, who's dropped off the back of his teammate. Although he could just about creep back in if he's lucky enough. But X-Direct now using, I should say, the grip of those mediums. Gets through. Glock gonna go and send it on him though, is he? Not quite. He backs off. He did go off at turn 1, did he? I didn't quite see that. But yeah, losing that focus now. And losing touch to Palang. He's just got to take the next lap or so to just dial back in. Close back up to Palang. Not let the occasion get to him. We need an Oscar Piastri from you now, Ghost, not a Lando Norris. And don't bottle it. Although the battle between Kylo and Dakar has allowed Kylo to drop off. Pink Webber's got involved now in the action too. He's all over the back of Dakar. Ghost is able to, at least he's given a bit of reprieve to find that ability to get back into the fight. Back into that zone of focus. Hello to the 8 people watching. This is exciting to have this many people. What do you think of the race so far? Who's your pick for the win and the rest of the podium as well? I think you can't rule out any of the top 5 at the moment. I think maybe Dakar and Pink Web with their penalties might struggle to get on the podium potentially. So it's the top 3 we're looking at as Paulie Orange gets past Enchiladad. Will Enchilada go for a move around the outside? He won't. He sticks behind the Ferrari in that Haas. And I think after Tuesday, he might be sick of the sight of the back of the Ferrari, to be honest. I mean, in all honesty, the Ferrari makes me want to throw up sometimes. But at least when I'm driving in it, I can't see how shit it is. So, there you go. Palang being the greatest fantasy asset since Salah. Wow, that's really something. Wouldn't it be just devastating if he crashed right now? Just devastating. You've cursed him potentially, Martin Lobb. You've cursed him potentially. If he crashes, that's on you, pal. Oh dear. Anyway, Ghost got that focus back and in good time too. Kylo Ren has caught back up now. He'll be sniffing blood. Here, there's an opportunity for a win here. Dakar's had a fantastic appearance so far. Let's check in on the penalties. It's still 3 seconds for everyone bar LB and X-Track with their 9 and 10 respectively. Enchilada staying with Paulie Orange. I hope Kylo wins now, says Rick, for fantasy. I need to make my changes to my team for fantasy actually. For the coming week. I've got until Tuesday to do that, so I'll make those changes as RJ and LB get past one another. No dramas through the old Singapore Sling section actually, so even more impressive. Palang just stretching his legs at the moment. Ghost keeping him honest. The laps are ticking down. All Palang's got to do is, well, stay ahead. Yeah. I was about to go Will Buxton there. You know, the first car to cross the line wins the race. But Ghost, I don't think he's willing to let this one go yet. He smells an opportunity for a win, and he'll go and grab it with 2 hands if he can. No room for complacency here if you're leading this Singapore Grand Prix. But what you can do is just dump your battery on the straights, and I don't think anyone can say much else or do much else to stop you. As Vandersnatch and Lewis get past one another, I think that was through the first little complex of corners. Look at the closing speed from Ghost, but he just can't do anything with it. Not close enough. Again, you need to be within that 3/4 window if you're going to want to launch an overtake. Down Raffles Boulevard and in towards turn 6. Otherwise, there's nothing you can do. Just nothing you can do. And do you want to send it in towards the next set of corners? I don't know. I don't think so. Because then you open yourself up for the counter-attack into the Raffles Boulevard, or into turn 1 even. But Kylo drawing ever closer. Dakar starting to fall off perhaps. But that's a battle for P4 in theory. Although Paulie Orange isn't far off, so he could nab a place and finish in the top 5 if he can stay within 3 seconds of Dakar and Pink Web. But Ghost now, he's close. He's closing in. Kylo's close too. Down the pit straight they go. Just stay focused. Keep it going. Hello to the next person joining in. This has been a thrilling second half of this race. Watching the top 3 all chasing one another. Any one of these drivers could go for the win here this afternoon or this evening, as Dakar's at a moment out of turn 4. That's going to invite the Red Bull to come along. Is Goes close enough to make a move? No, but the Red Bull is, and gets ahead of Dakar now. Just a little lapse in concentration. Extra up to P7 now. Remember, he's got that 10-second time penalty to contend with as well. Again, we don't know if that's a removable penalty or not. We'll find out in the steward's room after the race. Turn my light on. It's a bit dark now. As we've got 7, 8, 9, 31, 5 laps left, or what'll be 4 and a bit now. Palang just happy to keep Ghost behind him. Maybe Ghost waiting for the penultimate or the last lap to send a surprise attack on Palang. This is exciting stuff between these 3. Let's see what else is going on. Extrac is in a bit of a battle with Enchilada and Temp. These 2, of course, rivals throughout at least 3 or 4 seasons of Tier 2. 10 people now watching. That's exciting. Hello, you 10 people. There's LB and RJ going at it. I'd love to know what happened to Lawrence, if anyone can fill me in. Maybe I could take a quick look in the Tier 1 chat. Or in the Discord. Nothing. Nothing so far. If anybody knows. Definitely waiting for the last lap. This to be his first and the last lap was second. It depends. Depends. Depends on how you use your battery. Let's have a look at battery. I mean, about just over 50%. Ghost around a similar amount. All on similar amounts of battery. It must be said. I think Ghost has slightly more than both of them. And I mean, we know how good Ghost is in a sort of race leading situation. He's a 6-time sprint champion for a reason. As LB and RJ swap places yet again. Will LB get underneath the Haas? I think he will. They're side by side again, but RJ, just with the straight line speed, draws ahead, but then LB gets back ahead with the ERS, because RJ's got the DRS, but it does nothing when you burn the battery like LB just did. Meanwhile, Ghost still not close enough. I'm just happy to conserve battery, stay with Palang. 7 time. Nah. It's not allowed, that one. If you know, you know. I'm gonna do a Felipe Massa and get a petition going. Disqualify Ghost. I don't even... Disqualify Ghost from the from tier 4, season 4. Anyway. Still battling on. There's a yellow flag. I think that's RJ. It is. And another bad race for RJ. Not sure what happened exactly there. Hopefully it wasn't him and LB coming together. That'd be a shame. Kylo dropped almost to outside of DRS for a second, but he's back in it now. Firmly, as Koru and Enchilada are side by side through the final chicane. And there's Vandersnatch lurking in the background as well. This could be some solid points for Williams. If X-Ray didn't have that time penalty. Vandersnatch making his way around the outside of Enchilada as well. He's just shipped a couple of places. Not ideal for the Irishman. Oh, it goes close enough this time. He's closing. Palang felt the need to defend, and here he goes! Ghost sends it, but it's very, very late, and he's lucky not to have been swiped across by the Aston Martin in front. He went for the move, and it didn't quite work out. Here comes Kylo Ren now, side by side, and that move has compromised Ghost. Kylo Ren is going to go for second. He smells blood in the water. They're side by side, still through. There you go. That's close as you can get between two cars through there. And Ghost, his chances of a win slip away as he makes that move. Doesn't quite work out for him, and Kylo Ren pounces on the opportunity. Could that have given the win to Palang? I think so. Wait a minute, I didn't quite see the mistake. The camera angles are annoying. Well, Kylo definitely got the opportunity to go on him. I think he'll be kicking himself. Absolutely gutted. Will Ghost. But we're on to the final lap now of this thrilling Grand Prix. Glock is onto the soft tyres. I guess going for fastest lap? I don't know. He hasn't had a great race, and he'll finish pointless. By the looks of things. Meanwhile, Paulie Orange is looking very, very set on a top 4 finish. That would be fantastic if he could pull that one off. But Palang... he's under threat from Kylo, but Kylo wasn't able to make a move. Paulie Orange makes a move on Dakar, and he'll be keeping his sights on the Red Bull up ahead. Not settling for sticking behind the cars with the penalties. But let's see Elite Dave. The safety cars helped him out, and he's going to get a few points out of today as Koru and Vandersnatch swapping places here. And they're side by side. We've seen this so many times today. And maybe Vandersnatch will feel he was forced off in that instance. But I don't know. It's so risky going for a move there. But we've got only 3 corners left to navigate after this kink in the straight. And Kylo Ren, will he launch the attack? He looks like he might do. And he does. He breaks as late as he dares. Oh, and they come together. And Kylo will feel he's been entitled to space there. Ghost will be in second place. But if that's a penalty to Palang, then potentially. But Kylo gave him a long way back. Palang, though, is going to win this Grand Prix with Ghost in P2. After that incident, Kylo Ren P3. I think he'll feel a bit aggrieved about that one. But Paulie Orange has had a fantastic race to finish in P4 there. Pink as well, top 5, holds that one off as well. Dakar with the penalties, that's a bit of a letdown for him, but P6 is solid points. Extra outside of the top 10 after the 10-second time penalty. And wow, what a final couple of corners. You know what, I'm going to take a moment to just look back at that last attempt. Kylo Ren really does come from a long way back, but he locks up as well. I don't know, we might see that in the stewards later on. It's a very, very risky move. That's what happens when you try and be a hero on the final lap. I don't know. He gets his front axle along, but I think the question is, would he have got it stopped without Palang's car being there? Either way, Palang, for the time being, is the winner of this race. As we've looked back on the footage, there he is out on the podium. And wow, I think Ghost will be happy with that. We'll have to get some interviews in a second. I was set up for that. Oh my god, LB. Of all the ways to describe a battle, he chose that word. Okay. Let's start a party. Very quickly. And then I will do results. As Vandersnatch gets driver of the day by the game, and as you can see all those, I won't read all of those out, waste of time. But Palang then is your winner, and the podium is Ghost and Kylo Ren, the top 5, Paulie Orange and Pink Web, with then Dakar, Temp, Vandersnatch, Enchilada, and Lewis, the top 10, with then Extract, Elite, Dave, RJ, Joe, LB, Glock, the rest of the finishers, with then Lawrence and True Loki and Banter Brandon not finishing this race. But let's see what's happened here. Let me go Ghost. I don't know. Is Palang PC? I think he is. Palang is PC, so it'll be just Ghost for interviews. Hello, Kylo. Bear with me 1 second, mate. Just make sure your party settings are able to share the voice on the broadcast, or we cannot hear you on there. But I think that's everybody. We'll get straight on to the interviews then. And I think the one that got away there for you, Ghost, I think it's there was a few moments where, I don't know, maybe Rick said you looked like you might have been losing your focus. Was that what was happening when that lead just slipped away?
Yeah, I can blame the safety car all I want, because I think I would have won that race at a bit of a canter without it, but in the end of the day, I lost that race through my own mistakes. So I am frustrated. It's nice to be frustrated with a P2, but I am still frustrated because I really I know I say this all the time. It's kind of a meme, but I really should have won that race. Yeah, no, you're right. I lost the lead. I can't actually remember what I did to lose the lead now. But it was just, oh, I remember. I locked the rears into turn whatever it is, the right-hander for the DRS. But and then Palang managed to get me. It was a great move. So fair play to him. But the next lap I was all over the place. So yeah, Rick's absolutely right. I'd lost my focus completely after I lost the lead. So I got myself back under control on the next lap, but yeah, it was frustrating one. The mistake that let Kylo past was just another silly one. I should have been in third gear through that corner, and I was in second for too long, and I just lost the rear. So yeah, you're right, definitely the one that got away. So oh well, but I'm very happy I got pole. It shows the progress I'm making with no line.
Yeah, it was a very surprising pole position. It didn't look like anybody was really going to challenge Palang's lap until those final runs came in. I think I was definitely very shocked in the in the booth as well. But I think one moment I've got to highlight during that race, Ghost, was I think it was your overtake on, was it on Kylo through the Singapore sling, or was it Glock?
Oh,
Glock.
That was
Yes.
Yeah. That was good.
That was very good. I caught that on stream. I'm sure you'll enjoy watching that one back. But that must have felt good in the cockpit.
Yeah, that was lap 1, right?
Lap 1, yes.
Yeah. We had a fantastic battle lap 1. Because I was a bit too conservative into turn 1. and lost the lead when I really shouldn't have done. But I then made a small error down through turn 5, and then he was right on me, and then we were side by side for the whole of sector 2. It was great. And yeah, it was definitely exhilarating making a move around the outside of the sling. That was a really definitely a highlight. And it was an important move as well because Glock didn't seem to have as much pace today. I know he got damage after he hit me a few corners later, so I do feel for him, but I don't know if he would have had the pace for us to stay with Palang. So it was an important that I got past him, and then I caught back up to Palang, and yeah, after the pit stops, it looked great for me because I had some really good pace. I was well clear. Been a long time since I've led a race from outside DRS. And then safety car, and then we know the rest.
Yeah, but I mean that was a great overtake. Primeval saying it like he thinks it's overtake of the season so far. So I think
Oh,
I'm inclined to agree at this stage. But I'm sure we've got plenty more overtakes of the season potentially to come up. But I think one last question. There was an incident on that final few corners. I don't know how much of a view of that you had, but any thoughts on that in this final question, or are you gonna just to
oh, that's
quietly
a.
hope for something to come out of that? I mean, we'll talk to Kylo in a minute, but
Oh, that's a spicy interview question. I I was over a second back, so I couldn't really see what happened from my point of view. At the time, I thought Kylo had done what I did the lap before at turn 8. I don't know if you caught that on stream when I tried to go for a move on Palang at turn 7,
I
and
did, yes.
nearly took us both out the race. It was really tight. So good on him for avoiding me because that was definitely a bit of a kamikaze move from me, but it was fine. So my instinct was that Kylo did the same thing, but I'm sure Kylo will have a much better viewpoint.
Yeah, it's definitely. Well, I mean, there'll be maybe some fingers crossed, but either way, a solid result without Josh this week as well. So I'm sure he'll be happy to see you on the podium, Ghost. So solid drive today.
Thank you very much. Yeah, shame Josh couldn't be here, but because he's a real title contender this season, honestly, if he could have made every race. But yeah, good race overall. It was really fun. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, 100%. Right, then we'll move on then to Kylo, and we'll get to that last lap in a moment, Kylo. But it was a solid go. I mean, I think you started off your qualifying quite well, but I think Palang and Ghost just had the lap time in them. But I mean, is Singapore a track you enjoy?
Not really. It's one of my least favourite tracks, to be honest. But I mean, because I like qualifying, hitting like crashing out on the inlets was a bit. I felt like I could go at least 5 times faster on my laps. So it kind of started off bad, I guess. But yeah, um, yeah.
And I think one of the big talking points over this whole Singapore week so far has just been the strategy and the tyres and how harsh the track is. I mean, in the race you sort of just about lost out to the undercut to the likes of Dakar and such. But was that ever a problem? Was the strategy ever something that you were considering, or was it always a one stop?
Well, yeah. Initially, I was going to go into 14, so I was quite surprised when everyone else pitted really early, to be honest. And obviously, when you obviously with the long straight, you have to pit the lap after, if not the lap where they pit first. You just can get onto pit. But I don't think it affects how they do most men had to be more overtaken. But yeah, I felt like I had more pace to win the race. I wanted to do it at the front to see what my pace was like, to be honest. So yeah, it was quite bad. But yeah, things at the end.
Yeah. But then, so the incident, then you went for what I'll call a heroic dive into the last couple corners. Very optimistic, but
Yeah.
any hard feelings, or is it just hold your hands up, kind of? You saw that coming.
I think honestly, I think he could have given me a little more space. Just trying to hopefully get another result. So I guess I've got another result with you, Peter.
Yeah, the Arsenal of APPF1. But any are you going to be making the rest of the rounds, or is there any chance of more misses?
Unfortunately, I might be missing the last 2 races.
Oh, that's a shame.
Not good.
Oh no.
Yeah. So yeah, kind of annoying, but
Well, hopefully, whatever those plans are, they dissolve, and you can make the last 2 races, and you can maybe avoid another second place.
it looks like it's going to be smoother this year with Finley not
Yeah.
racing. So it's kind of annoying. This is the year that seems like the races. So
Yeah, a lot of people will be dropping him from their fantasy teams this week, I think, after his unreliability. But a solid race nonetheless, Kylo. You had a great few battles with everybody, and it was a fun final half of that race.
yeah, cheers. Yeah, yeah.
Amazing. Right, well, that's it. That's our P2 and P3 finishers. Shame we couldn't talk to Palang, but I'm sure he'll be happy with another race win to extend his lead in the championship. But that is going to be it for tonight, and that's going to end my 4 weeks in the booth for now. So, as I said earlier in the session, make sure you go and check out. Is it Lewis L Day? Am I getting the name right, Ghost?
Sorry, Sumo, I wasn't listening.
Wow. Wow. Lewis L Day, that's going to be who's taking over from me for the next 4 weeks, am I
Yes.
correct? Yes.
Yeah, Louis. So make sure to follow his Twitch channel. If all being well, he will take over. But you are very welcome to collab with him as well, Sumo.
I mean, if I'm available, I will 100% hop in the booth.
Yeah, cool.
Amazing. But yes, go check him out nonetheless, though. Next week, same time, not the same place, but over on Louis' channel on Twitch. But thank you all for tuning in. It's been nice to chat with all of you in the live chat there as well. I have been Sumo. This has been APPF1 Tier 1. And until next Friday, we will be we'll be back for some more racing then. But go check out the podcast and go check out Sunday's race over on Nobody's channel for more elite action. But goodbye for now.